Most people spend their entire lives running from one thing: silence. They fill every empty room with noise, every quiet evening with distractions, every lonely moment with another relationship. But very few people ever stop to ask a dangerous question. What if loneliness is not the enemy? What if it is the teacher we have been avoiding our entire lives? There was once an old traveler who lived in a village where everyone admired him for his wisdom. Whenever young people visited his home, they noticed something unusual. He lived alone, no crowds, no endless visitors, no constant conversations. Yet he smiled more than most people they knew. One afternoon, the young man gathered enough courage to ask him, "Aren't you lonely?" The old traveler smiled. "I used to be." The young man looked confused. "You live alone?" The old man nodded. "Yes." "Then how are you no longer lonely?" The old traveler slowly poured tea into 2 cups. He handed one to the young man before speaking. There are 2 kinds of loneliness. The first comes from having no one around you. The second comes from abandoning yourself. The first can be healed. The second destroys lives. The young man remained silent. The old traveler continued. "When I was younger, I feared empty rooms. I believed happiness required constant company. So I stayed where I wasn't respected. I accepted relationships that exhausted me. I entertained conversations that emptied my spirit. I smiled when my heart wanted peace. I thought being around people meant I was loved, but I was wrong." He looked out through the window. The loneliest years of my life were spent in crowded rooms. Those words settled heavily between them. Many people imagine loneliness as sitting by yourself, but some of the saddest people in the world sleep beside someone every night. Some laugh at every party, answer every phone call, reply to every message, yet they still feel invincible. Because loneliness has very little to do with people. It has everything to do with connection. If you cannot hear your own thoughts, if you no longer recognize your own dreams, if every decision depends on someone else's approval, you have become a stranger to yourself, and there is no greater loneliness than that. Years ago, after losing someone he deeply loved, the old traveler believed life had ended. His home became painfully quiet. The silence frightened him. At first, he kept the radio on all day. Then he left the television running while he slept. He visited places simply to avoid returning home. Anything was better than hearing nothing. But one evening, during a heavy rainstorm, the electricity failed. For the first time in months, there was absolute silence. No music, no voices, no distractions, only the sound of rain falling on the roof. He expected fear. Instead, he noticed something else. His own breathing, his own heartbeat, his own thoughts he had ignored for years. He remembered dreams he had abandoned, books he wanted to read, places he wanted to visit, skills he wanted to learn, people he wanted to forgive. He realized something astonishing. The silence was never empty. It had been waiting patiently for him to arrive. From that day forward, he began spending time alone intentionally, not because he hated people, but because he finally understood the difference between isolation and reflection. Each morning he walked before sunrise. He watched birds build nests without applause. He watched trees grow without seeking attention. He watched rivers continue flowing whether anyone noticed them or not. Nature taught him something people rarely understand. Everything valuable grows quietly. The strongest roots grow where no one can see them. Character develops the same way. The world celebrates those who are constantly visible, but wisdom is usually born in places where nobody is watching. Months turned into years. The old traveler became calmer, harder to offend, slower to judge, quicker to forgive. People assumed age had made him wise. He knew the truth. Solitude had. He turned back to the young man and asked, "When was the last time you sat with yourself for 1 hour without reaching for your phone?" The young man lowered his eyes. "I don't remember." The old traveler nodded gently. That is why so many people know everyone else, but never truly know themselves. If you fear being alone, you will accept almost anything. You will stay in unhealthy relationships. You will tolerate disrespect. You will chase approval. You will become whatever others expect you to be. But when you become uncomfortable in your own company, no one can manipulate you with the fear of abandonment. The young man finally understood. Peace does not begin when people enter your life. Peace begins when you stop depending on them to complete it. Before you leave today's scroll, remember these 5 truths. First, silence is not punishment, it is preparation. Second, being alone is not the same as being lonely. Third, the person you avoid spending time with the most is often yourself. Fourth, a peaceful heart attracts healthier relationships than a desperate one. And finally, the greatest conversations you will ever have are the ones you have with your own soul. That evening, the young man walked home beneath a sky full of stars. Nothing in the village had changed, but everything inside him had. He no longer feared an empty house. He feared only a life so crowded that he never again had the chance to discover who he truly was. Until our next scroll, do not run from silence. Walk into it. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is waiting where the loudest voices refuse to go.